Hello everyone! Remember me? I know, it has been quite a while since I last filmed anything. We will hope that by the time this studio vlog goes up that I will actually have managed to do my Art of 2019 video. Because it's been like a month since I've put up a video, which is ridiculous. And I wish I could say it's because I've been up to all this cool stuff and I've been too busy, but it wasn't. I know I did make a quick post about this on YouTube, just kind of explaining that I wasn't like abandoning the channel or whatever, but yeah, I did get really sick at the end of last year, like right around Christmas, spent Christmas like deathly ill. You know, when you have an autoimmune disease, it just completely wipes you. So I was really sick for like 2 weeks, and then for somehow, which I'm still not entirely sure why, but right as I was starting to feel better, I basically like tore, just ripped, decimated most of the muscles on the right side of my torso. And so then I spent the next week not being able to walk. And even now, basically the only reason I'm able to sit up is because I have an abdominal binder on, which is basically holding all of my muscles together so I don't feel them. So that's great, but yeah, I'm definitely not back to normal, which really sucks, especially when you don't know when you, like, I literally wasn't doing anything and then I have this, like, massive injury, which, it's annoying when you don't actually know what the problem is. Like, I know I got chest x-rays and everything, nothing was broken, so they're just kind of guessing that I've torn muscles or whatever, which, what can you do, I guess? Just trying to heal up, but of course that meant that all of the plans that I had around like the end of the year when I might have actually taken some time off did not happen. But I've been trying to gradually get back into things and try and do some things that I had planned to do. Like literally I've had a brand new 3D printer sitting on my desk for like 2-ish, maybe more weeks, I don't even remember at this point, that I haven't even been able to open. Like, the act of opening a box was too much for my body. And if you know me, you know that I can't be within like a 10-foot radius of new technology without wanting to get into it immediately. So that should tell you what the situation was like right there. But the second 3D printer, it kind of brings me to the point that one of the things I was hoping to have been able to do over my kind of a break whatever was clean up the studio, because it was kind of in chaos when I left last. I had my airbrush system all out. It's just, you know, general chaos, and something I've needed to do for a while is just clean out my drawers and everything, you know, just normal cleanup, I guess. But the other thing, because of the second 3D printer, I started to look into was reconfiguring my closet. So that will be the main sort of cleanup and reorganization part of this video, because I did get some new shelving units to kind of redo a whole part of the closet to make it more practical for 2 3D printers now, and just all of the storage that I need for the stuff that it's basically replacing in there, and all of the other stuff that could use storage as well, because I am to the point where I am feeling a bit better and then I probably could chip away at these things slowly, so we will see how that goes. So I guess I'll start by showing you the current setup in the closet, and then we will get into actually changing that over. So like I mentioned, the main project is the closet, which is looking slightly catastrophic at the moment, but I figured I better show you a before shot so you can see the difference. So as you can see, basically this is staying. It's probably going to get really reorganized once I get everything set up, but the flatbed storage that is here right now is getting replaced with some new metal shelves to house both of my 3D printers. So I'm making this more functional for the pre-3D printer side of things, because at this point it's becoming necessary, and it also gives me a ton of extra storage. I'm gonna have to go ahead and empty most of this closet area out so that we can go ahead and actually start building the shelving units. So as you can see, the entire closet, well, not the entire closet, but the affected area is all cleaned out, and I did actually already take off one of the flatbed desks just to see if I actually could get them apart and how difficult that was, which wasn't too bad, and then I was using the scraper to get the mounting tape off of the other one. I just figured I would show you what this all looks like, all nice and cleaned up now. So far, so good. Just need to finish disassembling this. Alright, here's the closet actually all cleared out. Did have to remove the quarter round from that side because this is a very precise fit. In total, the two shelving units is 140 centimeters, and I'm working with leaving the quarter round on that side, about 141 centimeters. And now it's time to actually start building these units. That's one done and one to go. And there's the second one. As you can see, I already actually put my printer in there. I had to kind of slip it in the side, so I already got that in there before I actually pushed the shelving unit back. But yeah, I'm super happy with how this turned out. It is later, so I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to get the stuff put back in this. It kind of did my side in enough just attempting to build these. But I do think I am gonna try and start today just so I can actually move around in my studio again. Because as you can see, it's absolutely crazy in here right now. So I did get all of my larger pieces of paper and print paper in here. They were on my bed, so they needed to get re-put back on these shelves if I wanted to sleep tonight. But one of the things that I knew when I was going to replace the flatbed storage is that, like, this is a much more significant gap than the flatbed storage that I had made. So I would love to see if I could actually make, like, extra shelf bits. So that my paper can basically only take up, say, the one shelf or whatever. So I might think about how I might go about that, and maybe do that tomorrow if I can come up with sort of a solid plan of how that might actually work out. So it is the next day, and I did think about the shelf situation, and I decided that foam core board would probably be a pretty good option to create the split shelf idea, because it is light on its own, but it's also really sturdy, and I figured it should definitely be able to withstand the minimal weight of the paper that is definitely an evenly dispersed weight on top of it. I did just get back from waddling myself to Curry's. As you probably can tell behind me, I have a couple of very large sheets of foam core. I just was looking up different sizes, and I need a fairly large size for the shelves, and the standard size for foam core is 20 by 30, I think? 22 by 30? I forget, and I need like 21 by 33, so had to go to Curry's for the extra large stuff. First project of the day is going to be making the shelf divider things so that I can then continue to gradually get the other things actually back in the closet. Hello, and welcome to the I Regret Everything Hour with Studio Revamp. Of course, because I have literally no desk space, and also this piece of foam core is massive, I have had no choice but to cut this on the floor. I may never get up from the floor, but this was the only option. So as you can see, I managed to get up off of the floor, have my shelves cut here, have some nice large pieces of foam core left over that I can do lots of stuff with. And now I need to clear some desk space so that I can actually measure out and cut the legs or support brackets for the shelves. Here is what the flatbed shelves look like. I'm going to pick it up so I can actually show you what I did, because filming it was like impossible with its size. So basically I just stuck on the corners that I made to each layer, and I also on the bottom layer actually put some hot glue on the edge of the foam core just to stop it from slipping on the shelf, and then each corner has a large amount of hot glue just to kind of stabilize it. So now I guess I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the actual shelf. That actually worked perfectly. So I kept my watercolor paper on the actual metal shelf just because it is the heaviest of all the papers I have. I have my print paper here, and then up here, which it is actually like the same distance between them, but this is so like bowed. But it doesn't matter because that is the smallest section that I have, and that's just like the very few sheets of like pastel paper, just colored paper. So not a big deal there. These ones are definitely my more used ones. Now that that's done, I can continue on with the rest of the organization. I have an unfortunate feeling that my camera did not capture nearly enough of that footage, because as the failed YouTuber I've apparently become, my battery died. So update on the situation. The first thing I did was I put all of my extra spools of filament, some brand new ones, some pre-used ones, just basically all of the extra filament that is not currently over here on the wall on that shelf. And then I put my giant paper cutter that you may or may not really be able to see back there on that shelf. It is massive, it's annoying, I do need it. It always drives me insane. It's massive, it's heavy, it never fits anywhere, so that's where it's living right now. And then around that I have my foam core pieces, basically. I put, right now the large pieces are just there, but all of my foam core pieces and some brand new sheets of it are in there for now. They might not stay there. And then down here I have all of the artwork that I had on the previous flatbed storage, so it's mostly wood plaques and just kind of annoying larger pieces that I can't have in portfolios, so that's probably going to stay the designated like artwork overstock area. And then down here I have scub boxes full of various things. Yeah, that's the state of things in the closet right now. The thing I need to do now is basically work on my 3D printer stuff, because this one is out here and is staying out here right now because I have all these upgrades that I need to do to it, or that I want to do to it, and it's just going to be easier if it's out here when I do them. But that's actually going to be an entire separate video, because I know not everyone is super interested in 3D printing stuff, and I also have that one that I need to fully set up. So if you're interested in the 3D printing stuff, there will be a video coming out exclusively talking about that and all of the upgrades and stuff that I'm going to do to both of them, as well as setting up the new one. As you can see, I got one printer all upgraded and back into the closet where it's going to be staying. I ran into a bit of a hiccup with the new one, so this is where it's going to be staying for a little bit. And so now I'm going to go back and actually continue some actual cleanup. I think the time has finally come to tackle the closet Alex drawer. Now, this system was actually in, I wouldn't necessarily call it my old studio, it was kind of like the craft storage in a closet, and it just got moved into this studio when I moved in here, and it never got reorganized, and it has been something that I've been meaning to do since I've moved into this studio, which has now been over 2 years, I want to say, just because this, it just could be organized better. Like up here, it's not like terrible, like it's still functional, like this is mostly paper and printer type stuff. This one kind of got converted into a Cricut drawer, but you can tell it's obviously, it could be better. And then the other ones are just kind of random like craft storage and fabric stuff that I don't necessarily use that much anymore. Like this one is, as you can see, mostly just the embroidery floss. So this could definitely be improved greatly. So I think that's what is going to happen right now. So here's an updated look on what this drawer situation looks like right now. It might kind of switch drawer configuration at some point, but for right now, this is practical enough, so it's going to stay like that, at least for the moment. So upper drawer, I basically have all printer and paper related things, so there's like all kind of the weird paper like Shrinky Dinks, there's some older decal and sticker paper, and then of course just normal printer paper. I have all of my cardstock that I would print on somewhere else, so this is all that needs to go in this drawer, really. Second drawer is the Cricut drawer, so it is a lot more practical. I know this one didn't change that much, but I did actually get to put in my large pack of vinyl in here, which I had been hoping to do for a while, so it definitely is more practical than it was. This one is kind of a random drawer. It's mostly sewing and textile-y like things, although I did put the tissue paper and the ribbon and stuff in here too. It's just not something I use as much anymore. I used to make like lots of amigurumi and like crocheting stuff, and I don't really do that. So I still have all the stuff here if I need to, and the embroidery floss does get used more often for different crafts and stuff that I do on as tutorials, but overall this isn't like a super used drawer, which it probably wouldn't necessarily need to be the third drawer up, but this one is like the last thinner one, so it is right now. So basically I could see the main changes to these drawers being more the order that the drawers are in. Oh my god, I have an empty... This is awkward. Okay, well that's good news. I might literally right away change, you will see in a second, but anyway. So that's an empty drawer that I wasn't aware of. This one is like a random craft drawer, kind of. So I do have a bunch of these, but I do find them practical because I know basically where everything is all of the time. Like, I knew all of the Mod Podge variations that I have were in this shelf unit, so them staying here isn't a big problem, and it's just the kind of the combination of all the random craft stuff that was in this drawer that I wanted to keep that I just tried to organize as best as possible in this drawer. And now the bottom drawer, which I might transfer up to the drawer I wasn't aware was actually empty, for now is like my packing and printer kind of drawer. So I have some brand new tins there that I can customize envelopes, the things that I used to make the boxes, like the label stickers. I have some signed thank you cards and some unfolded boxes down there. Just figured for now, the stuff needed to go somewhere, and this seemed like a perfectly reasonable option. Again, this might become more practical, like, the things don't necessarily need to stay in the boxes too much anymore. If I have some drawer organizers, they might go in those instead, although I do like the boxes, so I might kind of cut the lids off and recycle the boxes as the kind of storage unit idea, because it is useful to be able to take them in and out of the drawer, especially just for when you're actually customizing the palettes. I normally keep all of the lids in one, and then all of the like unsold palettes would be in the other. All the pre-printed palette parts go in that. So I might immediately change this bottom drawer to be up here, but nice to know I paid attention so much that I realized there's an entirely empty drawer in this unit. As for the rest of the closet, this is what it's looking like at the moment. I think this is probably how it's going to remain for this studio vlog. I know the second 3D printer is still missing, but I unfortunately don't think I'm going to have a chance to set that up before I actually want to post this. So other than that little oversight, of course, all the paper is there. I did actually put a portfolio just sitting on top of the other sheets because it is large and I don't grab for the watercolor paper all that much, so I don't mind having to take that in and out when I do require it. Again, this one for now is just the like foam core pieces. I have some paper scraps and stuff there now too, and then the X-Acto cutter. Down here, again, it hasn't changed, extra artwork. That can get filled up pretty fast. That's just wood panels and stuff that I don't really want to part with, at least right now, that need a home to stay flat and stuff. So that's a good place for that. And then of course you have like the scub box bottom thing. The front bin now is like extra supplies, so I have some like extra glue gun, or yeah, glue sticks, art resin, extra sprays, any of that kind of stuff. And then over on the short one, obviously, the CR10S. Lots of filament and just some general 3D printing little accessory things that you need all the time. My printer, and then the bottom, I just decided I have a scub box of, right now, it's like extra display things, like acrylic display things. I had a bunch just laying around my studio and I didn't really need the space that much for anything else, so that was just a quick little organization thing. And then, not so prettily, there's my memory foam sheets. That's what I use to pad my helmets and everything, and it's just kind of large and annoying, but it does squish down. It doesn't look pretty, but it's there. And then underneath that, which you can barely see, is actually the ventilation tube for my airbrush booth. That I'm not using right now, and it was kind of in the way, so it's there right now as well. And then in the front, I just plopped these 2 empty art containers that I had just because they were on my desk and I needed to get them out of the way because I want to do something else, and all of the cookie sheets and drawing racks that I use for pour painting, which probably will end up staying there just because they are large and annoying and they work perfectly there. Over here, which I don't think I actually really ever showed you, on top of the Alex, I just stacked the cardstock drawers so that they were more away from the paper so it's easier to get it in and out, and there's just a bunch of kind of random containers that probably aren't going to stay there and stuff right now, and then some foam that just sits well beside the shelf. Out here isn't looking too bad. There is a bit of stuff here and there that I need to like recycle, or just printer parts that I can't put on yet, and you know, just general kind of cluttery things that I still need to deal with, but overall pretty successful so far on the cleaning front. I could and probably should continue cleaning out drawers, especially the main art Alex drawer unit, I would call it. That could use a lot of reorganization in certain drawers and just general cleanup of stuff. But I think what I'm going to do now, because I've wanted to do it for a long time and I wasn't able to because my Christmas tree was in the way, is actually give Baby Yoda a proper home. Now, clearly, you know, there's not much space in this studio anymore. And while he is not a very large creature, his ear span, as you can see, becomes a very big problem. I would have loved to have had him in this cube system. Clearly the ears are not going to allow that. So was thinking for quite a while, like, you know, where could he live that he would be safe right now? He's just being a little desk buddy. But I realized I had these IKEA display shelves. I'm not entirely sure what they are called, but I can definitely find out the name of them if you're interested. I've had a couple of packs of these that I never ended up using for one reason or another. That they come in 2 sizes, and the larger size actually fits his little leg span perfectly. So he can actually fit on this no problem, and it's very minimal shelf, so he, you know, it's not taking up a lot of room, and I've always wanted it to go right kind of there, because it's a very safe location. It doesn't get a lot of traffic by it, and so figured that would be perfect for him. Not going to take up that much room because the shelf isn't that large. It's not going to stick out very far. Obviously the Electro Ripper is there, so pretty safe display location, other than it's basically one of the only wall spots left that I have in the studio. So anyway, rambling on, going to finally get this up on the wall. Okay, so I was gonna go put this on the shelf on the wall, and I realized I better look up what the weight limit for it is. Baby Yoda isn't that heavy, but just to be safe, I'm gonna weigh him to make sure he's under the 3-pound weight limit that you are supposed to have if I can actually... Does this thing have pounds? Okay, yes it does. I am so sorry, Baby Yoda, for having to weigh you. Oh, well, that... That is a close one, but I'm gonna call that good enough, and we're gonna still roll with it. And there we have it, one adorable green bean on a shelf, and it's also pretty cool that he looks like he's floating. Yes, this Baby Yoda is strong with the Force. So it's a couple days later now, and I never actually got around to cleaning up anything more, and I need to start editing this vlog. So this is where it's going to end for now, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.